Hey folks, welcome to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. I'm gonna play an Irish slip jig called Drops of Brandy. Then I'm gonna show you how to play it. Here we go. Cool, so now that you've heard it, let's learn how to do it. Start by simply playing a G major scale and warming up. If you've already done that, then maybe you could just jump ahead, but play the low octave of the G. Maybe try it with triplets. Actually, we need more of the upper octave for this. And then try it with triplets. If you know melodic variation patterns, there's one called 1, 2, 3. You could do that. All right, and if you want to learn that, I've got a lesson on that within FiddleHed. It's part of a group of lessons called How to Make Scales Fun. I don't just believe that scales could be fun. I actually have a ton of fun playing them. I sometimes will just play scales, not because I have to, just enjoy it. So anyway, moving on though, this tune is a slip jig, which means that it's in 9/8 time. So it's counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Try it on your own. It might help you to get the feel and give a real strong oomph to the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you'll be able to hear it in the tune a little bit. Da 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 da. So just kind of starting to form a mental model of the tune. And if you're into counting and so forth, you can use the play along track that I have on the site and just count along with it. Okay, so without further ado, let's learn the first quarter of the A part. And both the A part and the B part are only 4 bars long. So this first quarter will be just the first bar, a single bar. Broken down. Okay, so we're starting A3, low to 1, and then 1 to D3 and back to 1. We do that twice. So that's a little bit tricky. You may want to loop on that a little bit. When we play 2 notes, just those 2 notes, it's called an interval, A1 to D3. It's good practice to be able to hear those intervals and to get very good at them. It'll make it easier for you to learn fiddle tunes. Cool, so that's the first quarter of the A part. It's also the third quarter or the third bar. So if you really learn that well, then you know half of the A part. So let's slowly loop on the first quarter of the A part. Again. One more time. I recommend you do that 100 times. If you do, then you'll have a lot more confidence moving through the tune and you'll remember it much better. This will become like a trigger for remembering the tune later. Let's move on to the second quarter of the A part. Broken down. So very similar. It's similar. It starts the same as the first quarter, but then we're gonna do a low 2-1 open, and those notes I suggest slurring. I have some rudimentary slur suggestions for the tune. Keep in mind that they are just suggestions. There are many ways to do the bowings, and I, in fact, for better or for worse, change it up quite a bit, but I'll try to be consistent within this lesson. So this part again is the bowing on the first quarter was all separate bows. But separate bows means always down, up, okay? So now moving on to the third quarter of the A part, you already know it. It's the same as the first quarter. I'll just review it real quick. Now let's do the fourth quarter of the A part. Broken down. So it's a low 2, 1 low 2, A, F, or D low 2. So and then back to A low 2, 1 open. That's slur 3, slur 4 with the bow, okay? This is the fourth quarter of the A part. It's also the fourth quarter of the B part, so this too is worth really learning well. Okie doke. So now let's do the entire A part, put it all together with a play along track. If you're not ready for that, then I suggest you really dive into each small part and you divide those small parts even up further until you learn it well. Otherwise, just listen to the track, get the holistic view of it at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, cool. So let's pause before we do the B part and just think about some practice things. I'm just giving you a practice tip, which is, for this lesson, make up an exercise from the tune. All of these fiddle tunes that I teach you have exercises buried in them that you can extract those and really learn a lot of technique from them. So as an example, I'm going to look at this. Kind of the beginning of the fourth quarter. All right. So the first step to making an exercise is just to find something that's challenging and then loop on it. It could be any length. So it can even be a smaller piece. Or maybe you just need to do A, D. So we can do different loop lengths, different practice loop lengths. Then once you've mastered it there, a really powerful idea is to transpose it. So we've done, then we can extend the exercise by starting it on E low 2. Or starting it on D low 2. And if you start to feel comfortable with that, and by the way, that'll be very mentally stimulating. When you transpose something, there's something very satisfying when you get it. So we can string together or sequence together all three of those different versions to create a more complex exercise. All right, and that's just the beginning of what you can do to make up an exercise. There's tons of ways you can fiddle with it. And then once you've gone into it, then pull back, do the whole thing again with a new perspective. All right, so thanks for listening to that. Now we'll move on to the rest of the lesson. We'll do the B part, first quarter. Broken down. So that starts with D3, A1, 3, A3, E low 2. For those of you keeping score at home, that's a G major triad. If you don't know what a triad is and you don't want to learn, don't worry about it. But it is kind of interesting, and I'm not going to explain too much more other than the triads are what we use to build the chords. So continuing on this part, we go up and down, ending on A1. Then we just repeat E low 2, A3, 1. So this whole first quarter. And I just want to mention another practice you can do is called audiation, hearing music in your head. So you can play it once, and see if you can hear that in your head, visualize it. If that's hard, then just sing it or hum it. La 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 la. And then eventually you'll be able to hear it in your head and use that as a practice that you can harness to better learn the tunes, better visualize music, and enjoy it, and eventually compose and improvise. All right? Okay, so audiation, cool practice. Let's move on to the second quarter of the B part. Broken down. So it starts the same as the first quarter, but then we're going to do A low 2 1 open in a slur. All right, so that's the second quarter of the B part. Third quarter. Broken down. So this also starts with the G major triad. Then it's going to be different, E3 low 2. That's a nice little bit. And then E low 2, A3 1. Slur 3, slur 2. Again, suggested bowings. And then the fourth quarter is the same as the fourth quarter of the A part. So you now have the entire tune. Cool, so if you liked this video, please hit that like button. You don't have to, but it would be nice if you did, right? And if you like FiddleHed, please subscribe. That really supports the channel in more ways than you can imagine, because then more people will find out about it. I'll learn more from new students. So, and then also hit the notification bell, which will allow you to find out about when lessons are first published. And why that's a good thing is that I make all the content free for 1 week on the FiddleHed site. So you can go, you can look at sheet music for a week, you can look at color-coded tabs, tons of audio tracks, looping audio tracks for parts, the whole thing. It's be very helpful. So, but you only have 1 week to do it, so you want to find out about exactly when lessons are published. Cool. And for those of you who really love this tune and or want to learn more about adding variation, I'm creating a whole course. It's already up and running on Irish fiddle variation, and I'll be making a lesson on how to add variation to this tune soon, so stay tuned for that. As usual, thanks so much for watching. I'm having a really good time doing this, and it's been really nice hearing from a lot of you and actually meeting some of you and talking to you on the phone and so on and so forth. So keep the questions and comments coming. I'll do my best to respond. Take care. Go to FiddleHed.com for a progressive, step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more. Thanks for watching the videography. Excellent! And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.